hard as it may sound, he's managed to answer most of them. We would also still like you to keep sending your questions only via text. Do not call the numbers. And also go on Twitter at hashtag IGP Scorecard and then send your questions. More questions are coming in. He is willing to answer every of those questions. Sulaiman, so far so good. Our intelligence gathering hasn't been bad at all. We've had questions that says, look, we've been all over the world. We've been, some of our, the people who are asking the questions are saying, we have been around the world. We've seen that Nigeria police isn't what it used to be at all. Efforts are in place to give orientation to the Nigeria police and make sure it is well reformed. Oh well, a lot of people agree with that. Do you agree with that too, Sulaiman?
Well, anyway, I think the working is evident that there's an intention and there's a will, and they are actually moving. But we have lived in times where a lot of things have not actually worked well for us as a people. So there's a little bit of skepticism,
NPA,
and of course, loads of bad eggs.
The Inspector General of Police,
and that is why
the 16th Inspector General of Police of Nigeria.
You would also recall how
I'm truly honored and humbled to be in your midst today to share with you my observations and perceptions of the thoughts and concerns of one of Nigeria's most amiable public officer, who in the last nearly 2 years has been saddled with the role of managing the internal security and public safety in Nigeria, amongst other very important assignments relating to the maintenance of law and order in Nigeria. The 135-page book takes an in-depth look at the role of police in maintaining law and order, not just in the country, but in the community. In the words of Professor Omololu Soyombo, Professor of Sociology and Criminology and Dean of Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Lagos, efficient policing, public safety, and internal security are hinged on a holistic understanding of criminality and the modus operandi of criminals by enforcement agencies. MD Abubakar took a bold step to bring to the fore and consciousness of all of us the need to seriously x-ray the state of the police, public safety, and the important issue of internal security. A tested and seasoned police officer, and I dare add, and the gentleman who is the 16th Inspector General of Police, must have given the decision a deep thought before embarking on the idea of writing this book. In the words of Soyombo and Sir Michael Kiro, who is here present, IGP 2007 to 2009, and current chairman of Police Service Commission, both agree that there was a serious void in the literary analogy of this all-important topic. Soyombo says there is no comprehensive document on policing, public safety, and internal security. Okiro, agreeing, wrote in his foreword, although a highly neglected topic, it is a matter of joy that a worthy senior officer of the Nigeria Police Force has taken up the challenge of confronting and doing justice to the issue. Nigeria is a nation on trial of its own neglect and a pathetic state of denial for appearing not to pay attention to some of the things that matter most, among which are the self-explanatory title of this book. Even though he did not indicate it in the book, Abubakar makes you feel his concern for the country that he serves when he observed that the security situation is characterized by the occurrence of armed robbery, assassinations, political thuggery, frequent ethnic conflicts, prevalence of ethnic militias, and more recently, the emergence of highly violent groups all over the Federation, unquote. He explains further in his preface Due to the general climate of insecurity in the country, members of the public are unable to pursue their legitimate duties with confidence and assurance of their own safety. I'm sure he's speaking the mind of every one of us here from these quotes. The book is divided into 6 main chapters with about 7 sub-chapters that carefully dwell on references and acknowledgement, and of course the foreword by his predecessor, Sir Michael Kiro. Chapter 1 asks a pertinent question: the need for a stable internal security. Whose burden? Because of time, I'm not going to dwell into the details of these chapters, but just to give you a summary or a cursory look at them. Chapter 2 highlights the Nigerian police force, origin and structure. And there the breakdown of the Nigerian police structure shows how well planned it was from inception, even before Nigeria was born as a sovereign state. It was in 1930 that the beginning of the metamorphosis of the police as we know it today as an institution actually started. The challenge is this: how has this strategic structure fared over the years? The book exposes the fact that there was a need to tell the world how well intended the police was in its origin. Pages 25-31 attest to that. The author did an extensive research, and his coming into position, or since his coming into position in 2012, to expand the professional capability of the police force, making training a major issue by reviving old ones and establishing new training schools. After identifying the structure of the police, the IGP focused on the community and their role in internal security. The book mirrors the various departments, with the B and D departments directly addressing security issues as it affects the people, community, and the state. And then, of course, as you heard earlier, the newly introduced IT department, which brings the police force up to par with the rest of the world as crime becomes more sophisticated. Chapter 3 focuses on public safety in Nigeria, a brief insight. In this chapter, MD Abubakar takes time to define safety, public safety, before narrowing it down to public safety in Nigeria and security in particular. In his words, the concept of security may not have a universal definition. The common denominator in all definitions of security is the protection of persons against threat and danger. He also gave the British example. He observed that people depend totally on police in the work the people themselves are supposed to help the police to do. In this chapter, Abubakar reminds us of the emergence of vigilante groups, militias, private security outfits, and how they have posed a threat to the stability of the nation and the various communities. Chapter 4 focuses on policing models and public safety in Nigeria, while Chapter 5 gives the police the electoral process and public safety. Now, the 6th chapter mirrors his thoughts, recommendations, and implementations. You can find that on page 119 to 126. Let me just give the opening statement in that paragraph, or the chapter. The effectiveness and efficiency of the police service or any public safety agency is judged by the nature and quality of service it delivers to the members of the society. No matter how well staffed, trained, and equipped, the police cannot be successful without public understanding, support, and cooperation. The power of the police to discharge their duties and functions depends on public approval of their existence and actions, and the ability to secure and maintain public confidence, trust, and respect. And what we've seen today shows that there's a desperate need for community relations come police force cooperation. And it also means that if I'm a citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the need to respect the rule of law is paramount in my psyche, in my orientation, and the need to stand tall and work as a proud Nigerian.